G'day folks, this is Raymond Foster. Hope you're doing great. In this video, we're going to take a look at understanding the distinction between somebody who is an anti-white and somebody who is villainy signalling anti-white ideas and anti-white concepts. The vast majority of people who promote anti-whiteism are villainy signalling, they're vagues, villainy signalling the ideas, the narrative which promotes anti-white hatred simply because that narrative is the mainstream narrative. For example, the vast majority of people in Australia who are opposed to Australia Day and would call Australia Day Invasion Day, they don't understand that to say this, to promote Australia Day as Invasion Day, is just a hatred of innocent white children. So the average vague who's villainy signalling anti-whiteism, they don't understand that an attack on Australia Day isn't helping Aboriginals at all. It's only an attack on innocent white children trying to attack their identity and what makes them feel safe, having a purpose and a meaning to exist. The celebration and commemoration of their existence. To remove that, to dehumanize innocent white children by removing and attacking Australia Day, to take away that celebration of their existence and their meaning, their identity. That's all that attacking Australia Day is about. But for a vague in the anti-white narrative, it's about protecting the Aboriginals and considering their trauma and all of these excuses, anti-white excuses and pretexts used to justify the white erasure. It's important to make this distinction, especially when it comes to people you care about or people you want to keep in your life. If it's just some random, okay, maybe it doesn't really matter, you can just yell at them, you're an anti-white scumbag, how dare you act or say or repeat something like that, which is the promotion of child abuse of innocent members of Western kind. But if it's somebody who's your friend, if it's a family member, somebody who you want to, or a work colleague, somebody you have to continuously engage with, obviously you don't want to create hostility for no reason, but you want to address the anti-whiteism and stop the bigotry and the racial discrimination. So you bring it up in this manner, by addressing the individual and remembering that they are not an evil anti-white, but they are villainy signalling. They have been conditioned to just fit in the group and just repeat racial hatred that's systemic. You don't back them into a corner, okay? You give them options of where they can go so they feel comfortable. They don't feel threatened in that sense. So you're not going to your mum or your best mate or something and saying, you're an anti-white scum, you're evil, you're a monster, you want to harm innocent children just because you happen to repeat something that's from the anti-white narrative. No, you say, what you just said, or what you just repeated, or what you just sympathized with, that idea is an idea from the anti-white narrative. Its sole purpose is to abuse children, to promote racial discrimination. I know you aren't a bigot. I know you aren't evil. You are a good person. You just unconsciously said it because it's systemic. It's a part of the systemic racial bigotry, all right? The racial discrimination in the system which you've grown up in, and so it's just rubbed off onto you. So it's not you, it's not your fault personally, but you do need to reflect on it, and you need to never say it again. Or if you do say it again, you need to catch yourself, instead of me catching you saying it, you need to remember to catch yourself and bite your tongue, and then apologise or say, no, I retract that, I didn't mean to say that, sorry. We've all been conditioned in a system and it's given us harmful ideas, and we just have to reflect and realise if we're promoting racial discrimination or these harmful ideas that we've been conditioned with. And then we just, check ourselves and then stop promoting the racial discrimination. And if it's brought to someone's attention in this manner and they don't care, right? They just laugh it off. They think you're talking nonsense. They're like, anti-whiteism, whatever, bro, or something like this, okay? They just ignore the racial discrimination and bigotry and act like it's not important, right? It's not actually a very serious matter to be talked about. It needs to be addressed. Then they are evil, okay? So that's a good way to address it. You don't jump in just assuming people are evil anti-whites because they racially discriminate against innocent members of Western kind. You would jump in and you assume that people are innocent vagues, they're good people, okay? But we've all been raised since birth. Everyone alive on the planet today has lived their entire existence since they were in the womb, conditioned with these racial ideas, these discriminatory ideas, okay? These bigoted ideas of anti-white hatred. And so the whole world acts as though it's normal and it's mainstream and it's perfectly accepted in the mainstream to be racially discriminating against people if they happen to have white skin and be a member of Western kind. You don't know if someone's anti-white, an anti-white bigot, or if they're just villainy signalling meme pathogens from the anti-white narrative. The only way you can know for sure is to bring it to their attention that what they are talking about, what they're expressing, are meme pathogens from the anti-white narrative. And then from there you can determine whether or not they are, in fact, evil anti-whites who racially discriminate and want to abuse innocent children, or if they're just everyday folk who happen to be brought up in this anti-white system, in the anti-white narrative, like we all have who exist on this planet, everyone alive. And they're just repeating things they heard on TV, things they read in magazines, etc., etc., without really thinking through the ramifications of expressing those pretexts and ideas and concepts which validate racial discrimination. So there you have it, folks. Remember that. It'll save you a lot of hassle and hostility. You don't have to, ruin your friendships or anything like this. That's the whole point of understanding the lexicon and the key concepts of Go Free. It's that when you speak your mind, you're a hero.